3 days from now, on Saturday, the 22nd of June, 2024, I will be graduating high school. I'm ready to be done with this crap, bro. Don't get me wrong, school was fun. As some of y'all might know, I was homeschooled, so that gave me a lot more flexibility to do this kind of YouTube stuff, and I'm very grateful for that. But I'm ready just to be done with school for good, so I can put all of my time and effort into YouTube and racing, of course, but like, you know. A few things I gotta do to get ready for my graduation on Saturday is I have to write a speech. So I'm valedictorian because I'm the only one in my class, so of course I finished top of my class. But yeah, also just so you know, I got a new camera and everything, so you probably saw in the sim rig video, I got the DJI mic down here, but also, this is y'all now. I spent too much money on this. But yeah, I'll see you on Saturday. It is now 9 a.m. on Saturday, and I'm graduating today. So I got a lot to do to get ready, so I'm gonna go do that. This isn't going to be like one of my normal videos, like the crazy editing for high retention and stuff like that. This is a bit of a different video, but I did a little bit of customization to my graduation hat. Those of you who've been following the channel for quite a while know I used to really be into playing cards, like Cardistry and Card Magic and stuff like that. So I got some Fontaine playing cards on it, and then the Four of Hearts. That was my first ever playing card, and I signed it there. What do you mean first ever playing card? Don't you get them in a deck? No, actually, I met this guy on the set of a movie once that was doing Magic, and I was like 5 at the time, and I liked it so much that I asked him for just one card. I had no clue back then, but he gave me a card to do Magic with, and that was the Four of Hearts, and now I've got it. My graduation cap. Later in the day, I'm gonna have my ceremony and everything, and then my party, and Oliver, my cameraman for like all of Parkour Week, which should be out soon, is coming as well. So this is gonna be his first time operating this new camera. Hopefully he doesn't break it. You know, when you fall over, you always make more progress than when you step, but you have to get back up. Hello, my name is Dylan Lanham, Robert Dylan Lanham. I am a content creator with over 3,400 followers across all platforms. I am the 3rd fastest Gran Turismo player in the state of New York and the fastest in Division 2. I did a lot of things growing up, as you saw on the screen up there. And as my mom said, I did a lot of things, like different phases. I was obsessed with stuff. Like if I got into something, like I would go full into it. Like I would know everything about it. I went from knowing nothing about mechanical keyboards whatsoever to being able to build one from scratch in 3 days. So I spend a lot of time on those obsessions, I guess you could call them. As I did those things growing up, I realized that I was weird, obviously, but I realized that to other people, that was out of the ordinary, that wasn't normal. And to be able to want to make a career out of it was even weirder. So I realized at a very young age, I did not want to be normal. I wanted to get something that that nobody else would do. Because if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. So I wanted to find something that was hard, but that was also something I enjoyed doing. I think I have found that with motorsports, with racing, and with YouTube. I'm recording a YouTube video right now, thanks to Oliver. And as an example to my first point, I made a goal at the beginning of the year to reach 1,000 subscribers by the time I graduate. I did not, in fact, reach that goal. I'm at 371. But the thing is, I failed, I fell, but I got back up. I didn't stop making YouTube videos. In fact, I'm making more YouTube videos, more consistently, more higher quality YouTube videos. So failure is a motivation if you turn it into one. Now, I did make this speech, like 90% of it last night at midnight, so forgive me if it's a little bit janky. One of the ways I found what I wanted to do is, I've heard from somebody, my dad says this quote, I forgot who said it, but he said that everybody has Michael Jordan level talent at something. And so going through all those different phases as a kid, I found things that I had immense talent as. No need to brag, but I found things that I was just naturally good at. Some were sports, some were content creation, some was just all kinds of stuff. But I found some that I was better at, some that I was worse at. I tried sports stacking for like a month, didn't really get that good at that. And because it was something different, something that not many people did, as I said earlier, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it. It allowed me to work by thinking outside of the box. If you go to a job every single day, 9 to 5, full-time job, and you graduate in your 60s or 70s, whenever, or not graduate, retire, that's inside the box. That's the status quo, that's the system. And the only way to get out of the box is to think out of the box. And with creative and physical careers like that, it's easier to. It's easy to do that, or not easy, it's possible to do that with normal jobs like that, but it's easier to do it in a field that requires you to think outside of the box. And it's very competitive too. Because when you go into a career that, if it was easy, everybody would be doing it, then you know it's going to be hard. Everybody else going into it knows it's going to be hard. So everybody else is trying just as hard as you. So you got to put all of your effort into it because everybody else is putting their effort into it. A quote by Ayrton Senna, one of the greatest Formula One drivers to ever live. Some people even think he's the greatest. He said, "The one who finishes second is the first to lose." So I also heard another quote. This guy had a line of trees in his yard, and 4 of the trees were planted a month before the other one was. The difference between all of those trees, the one that was planted a month later had no leaves. So the 4 trees that were planted earlier, a month earlier, created their roots, established their presence, and they grew leaves and grew fully. And then the other tree was planted a month later and was not able to find its way through the root system. The other trees have already established their root system. It grew, but it didn't grow any leaves. So it survived, but it didn't prosper. And so you may be like all the other trees, but if you're not first, you have no leaves. You have to put all of your effort into whatever you want to do to get those leaves, to get first, to not finish second. It's very difficult. I heard another quote, I forgot who this was by either. I didn't do a lot of research for this, but to get something you've never had, you must do something you never did. Finding a job that requires you to do that, you're not going to work hard for it unless you love doing it. I've always heard the expression, do something you love, or find something you love and you'll never work a day in your life. That's sort of true. I don't fully agree with that because there will be times you don't want to do it. And when you do it, okay, I said do. When you do it, because you know that in the end, it is going to be what you want. And that separates the good from the great. When you know that you're going to want it, that in the future, say you are doing racing. Say you want to be a Formula One driver, and you started racing knowing you want to be a Formula One driver, and you practiced and practiced and practiced. You did karting, you did the simulator, you went to small like Formula 4 championships, all the low-level stuff. You started to get bored of staying in one place, and you wanted to advance more and more and faster. But you knew you would, but you weren't at the time. If you keep going, those are the ones who made it to Formula One. That's Max Verstappen, Lewis Hamilton, Lando Norris. If you give up thinking it's taking too long, those are the ones that never make it to Formula One. So it doesn't matter if you want to wake up and do the work or not. The rest of the world is gonna keep moving, and things are gonna keep happening regardless. When you wake up, there's a job that needs to be done, and you have to do it regardless of your feelings, because you know it's what you truly want to happen. I want to close with a story from David Goggins. Most of y'all might have heard his name. He's a motivational speaker, Navy SEAL. He has a pull-up record. He's described by some as the toughest man on the planet. So there's a story that he tells on a podcast. I'm going to tell it from his perspective. Say you're God, and say I spent my whole life working at Ecolab spraying for cockroaches, retired, and then died 5 years later. Just a normal 9-to-5 job, working for somebody else, and I was content with that. And say I get to heaven, and there's a long line of people getting into heaven, and you see a board up above the gates of heaven, and you see Adam Brown. You see Adam Brown walk up, and he gets into heaven. He fulfilled what he was required to do. But then, say I come up, and it says, David Goggins, Navy SEAL, Ranger School, pull-up record, motivational speaker, changing lives. And I look at God and I say, that's not me. I worked for Ecolab my whole life. And God looks at me and he says, that's who you were supposed to be. Not what you could have been, what you were supposed to be. What you were put on this world to do, and you failed to do it. I heard another quote from somebody else's graduation speech. I'm going to steal that for a bit. But he said, imagine on your deathbed, there's a bunch of ghosts around you representing your unfulfilled potential. And they tell you, they said, we came to you because we thought you could do something for us. And you failed to fulfill that, and now we have to go to the grave together. Are you fulfilling what you were put on this world to do? Are you being what you were supposed to be? And if not, are you going to? Because anybody can do anything. Why not you? Why not now? Thank you.
Later.
Well, I was looking at everybody. I was kind of like stumbling. I was nervous and stuff. But as soon as I looked at Oliver with the camera, I started making a YouTube video. I wasn't making a speech, I was making a YouTube video.
First of all, I have no idea how in the world you fell flat on your face walking up there and were able to pull it back together and even make people...
I plan to.
I know,
I plan to. It's on the speech. It's fall. On the speech, it's got fall and get up. It's on the...
You're kidding me!
Yeah. That was the whole first point of my speech.
Did y'all know that? That was part of his speech. The falling down was part of it.
I picked up on that later. I didn't know it at first.
That's impressive!
It's a Darren LaCroix thing.
Yeah, you told me about it like when we lived in like Newcastle.
For the brilliance, I did not know.
Thank you.
Congratulations, really. That was brilliant.
Here, look, get a picture, get a picture.
He pushed your camera away and said, just the first loser. So that man, when he got in there, because he knows what he did.
How did you like using the new camera?
It was like amazing.
Was it skibbity?
It was very skibbity. Also, I noticed the sigma levels of the camera were very high.
Chat, is this real? I'm actually buying a lens adapter for it soon. That the brand name is Sigma.
Actually?
Yeah, it's a Sigma MC11. It's gonna be the most Sigma camera.
Why is it called Sigma?
I don't know. Ooh, another cool thing about this camera.
Ooh. That's actually really cool.
But one of the big reasons I bought this camera is because there's an audio jack here, so it takes the audio from anything that's plugged into it and records it straight into the camera. So with my old microphone, my lavalier that I had, you were recording on the GoPro and I was recording a separate file onto the lavalier, and then I had to match them up in post. This, it records straight from the microphone into the video file.
That's really cool, actually.
Yeah, that's why it was like $600.